Hello everyone, welcome back to Mindful Miles, where I sit in my car, eat my lunch, and talk about something. So this is episode 3, and today I am talking about overconsumption. So before I get into the topic though, we've got Wendy's again today. So I think that's what I had. I think the last video I was leaving Panera where I had lunch. And then this video, the first video though, I do believe I was having Wendy's. So what's my Wendy's order? My Wendy's order is a junior bacon cheeseburger biggie bag with no mayonnaise on the burger because it's gross to me. And then I do regular chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce and fries. So yes, I'm from Iowa. I'm a ranch girly, but something about their barbecue sauce, and I love putting it on my burger and dipping my nuggets in it. It's really good. So anyway, we are on the peak of summer, but it's like been kind of chilly. And actually I've been in New York this week because my uncle passed away, and so I flew out to New York on Tuesday, spent some time with my family, and then went to his services yesterday. Went to his services on Wednesday, and then I actually flew back yesterday. So today though, currently getting lunch, and then I'm gonna go home, and because I get to work from home for the rest of the day, so I'm really excited. But like I said, I wanted to do Mindful Miles real quick and talk about overconsumption. So why am I talking about overconsumption today? The reason why I'm talking about overconsumption today is because I stumbled across a video that I saw on YouTube where it basically said something to the effect of TikTok has ruined coloring. Now, if you guys have been on TikTok, you'll know that, of course, there are like different sides of TikTok. So Color Talk is basically the girlies buying alcohol markers and buying these really cozy aesthetic coloring books. And I've watched a few videos about these coloring books, and I have some. I actually ended up getting a deal from TikTok where I got I think I got 5 or 6 books for like $30. And so I have some, and a lot of the girlies are using the Oahu alcohol markers, which are kind of expensive. I am balling on a budget over here, hence my $5.52 lunch. So I have alcohol markers, but I actually got mine from my local TJ Maxx. They had a case of them. It was like 60 markers for, I think, $13-14, and they've been working really well for me. I did end up buying 10 Oahu markers from Michael's, and like these really nice little five marker sets. Those were $10. So yes, if you can imagine. But anyway, so in the video, the girl is talking about how, you know, we have all these videos of the Color Talk girlies that have 60 and 70 little cozy aesthetic coloring books. I think Coco Wayo is like one of the main manufacturers of these coloring books, and they're all getting like the 320 marker count. You know, it's like, do you really need that much, and all this other stuff. Now listen, the one thing I'm not gonna do is get into anybody's pockets. The other thing I'm not gonna do is tell people what to and what not to buy. And granted, I understand the purpose of that video and a few others that I watched today. But what I want to talk about is how I see things from the side of a consumer. So we're all consumers, right? If you live in America, you are a part of the capitalistic society that we have. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have all been influenced. We've always wanted something, and I feel like this is from when we were kids, right? You didn't just want one Barbie. You didn't just want one Cabbage Patch doll. You wanted all of them, and you wanted all the accessories, and you wanted everything, right? As millennials, this is really just a manifestation of that, right? And while I was watching these videos today, because one of them, so I watched one about Color Talk, I watched another one about Book Talk, I watched another one about Stanley Cups. And again, you know, it's saying, you know, well, you don't need this, you don't need that, and all this other stuff. I totally understand. But the one thing missing from all those videos is really, like, why? And how have maybe you fallen prey to overconsumption? So what I want to talk about is really how I started my YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel, which I started in 2019, I believe. So I've been on YouTube for a while now. My YouTube channel started as with planner content. So I got really heavy into the planner community. I had all the washi tape, all the pens, all the planners. I have planned in everything from a happy planner. I have planned in an Erin Condren. I have planned in an Amplify planner. I've done all of the things, right? I've used all of these planners. And I had all the washi tape. I had all the planners. I had all the stickers. I had everything, okay? And I think for me, it really turned into me having all of this stuff, but still feeling like I wasn't productive. Actually, as I was using an Erin Condren planner, was an on-the-go planner, I remember sitting at my desk at work, and I was just like, I have all these damn planners, but I have no goals. I have nothing that I am working towards. All I am doing is writing down my life, but there's nothing like a to-do list. There's nothing like a, hey, Emily, here's what you need to focus on. Here's a goal and things like that, right? And through therapy and a few other things, I started to kind of really understand that. And then slowly but surely over the years, I've actually gotten out of the whole planner scene. My planner that I'm currently using right now, because I still do like to write my stuff down, including my goals. But the planner I'm using right now is actually a super cheapy one that I got from Aldi. It was like $8, and it's a fantastic planner. So, this is really good. It's really delicious. Anyway, so then, you know, I got into paper crafting, you know, because I needed a hobby during the pandemic, right? So I ended up buying all this scrapbook paper, and I was making cards and all this other stuff. And I was overconsuming, not recognizing that the reason why I was overconsuming, right? So on top of that, I also got back into reading. In 2 years, in 2020 and 2021, I read like 150 books. And again, I'm still doing all the paper crafting. I'm still making cards. I'm still doing all of these things. And I'm just consuming at this point. And again, kind of like what I said already, my why for over consuming was me not being happy in my life and my marriage. So I would get my dopamine from buying things and creating things, from buying books and reading books and living through these characters and these stories. And that can be dangerous. And then I remember when I was moving out of my house and into my apartment, you guys, the stuff that I ended up pulling out of my office alone, I must have gotten rid of at least 200-300 books. I donated so many stickers and unused planners and all kinds of stuff, you know, and I really started to realize that even if I would have kept it all, there's no way in a lifetime I would have been able to touch all of it, right? So fast forward now, I would say that right now, the one thing that I started to overconsume and then I had to stop was diamond art, which is what I talked about last time. And the thing about diamond art is that for me, it's just a nice hobby where I could turn something on, watch it, and be done, and it's really no big thing, right? But what started to happen was FOMO started to happen all over again, where all of these great kits and pieces would come out and things like that. But I'm sitting here thinking like, oh damn, I need it, right? I need all of these things. But in reality, there's no way I'm going to finish all of this, right? So I have really calmed down my buying. And when I'm starting to notice with me in not over consuming is that I am more vigilant and more realistic at what it is that I need and what it is that I want, right? So for example, last week there was a diamond art drop and I was like, ooh, I want to get these 3 or whatever. But if I do this diamond art drop, is there something else in my life that I'm not going to be able to do? And do I really need this? And realistically, if I buy this piece, when am I going to work on it? Granted, I finished my diamond art pieces very fast. So like we're in May and I've already finished nine paintings and they're like, some of them are actually pretty freaking big. But I think that as more influencers do what they do and influence and get this free product and tell us all that we all need to go buy it and all these things, I think as people are clocking it and talking about the overconsumption, I think what goes further is if you talk about the overconsumption, you talk about what you're seeing, but also be personal with it and share your own story about overconsumption. You know what I mean? Because like I said, like I was watching all these things and then for a second I kind of started feeling bad for myself. But then also I started to say to myself, I'm not in nobody pockets. And I'm never going to tell somebody how to spend their money. But what I am going to do is share kind of my story and how I have overconsumed and how through, you know, some self-awareness, some reflection and therapy, I have been able to stop those habits. You know, like for example, recently I got into building Legos and I love building Legos. It's so much fun. I've got probably like 8 or 9 kits at home that I haven't put together yet. And I know that. And while there are new Lego sets coming out and things like that, you know, I'm just like, Emily, let's put together the Lego sets you have. And also figure out where you want to put them in your home. And then if Legos is something that you still want to get into, you can do it. You know, that's exactly the way I am with my diamond art. It's exactly the way I am with my paper crafting, with planning and all of those things. I'm making more of a conscious effort in how I spend my money and not over consuming and not worrying about the fear of missing out. And it's hard and it's frustrating. And I'm not even gonna say that I'm perfect with it, because sometimes there will be times where I'll go to a store, I'll pick up all kinds of shit and I'll be like, wow, Emily, you don't really need none of this. But I'm like, I don't care if the dopamine hit feels good, I buy it. But then I get home and it's like, damn, I really didn't need all of that, right? But this is just my story. This is just how I kind of feel about the topic. I feel like, you know, influencers are going to do what they do. I just really think it's just really about you asking yourself if you really need it, if it's truly going to bring you joy, but also, especially when it comes to some of these hobbies and crafts, when I'm going to actually have the time or when am I going to get to said thing. And, you know, and only you can decide for yourself what it is. But I just think that overall, as consumers, I think if we start sharing some of these stories and kind of talking about some of these things, then maybe overconsumption won't be such a big problem in our society. But I also think too, just being realistic with what it is that you want and what brings you joy, I think is like the most important thing. So that is my mindful minute. Actually, it's been multiple minutes. So anyway, thank you so much though for listening to this mindful minute about overconsumption and just kind of what my story is. I kind of post these randomly, but I have a whole bunch of other content and stuff like that. You can actually see some of my overconsumption live and in effect on some of my previous videos. So anyway, and then if you also want to jump in and check out my podcast, Black Girl Iowa, it is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora Radio, iHeartRadio, and right here on YouTube. And don't forget, follow me on social media at Black Girl Iowa on Instagram and TikTok. All right, guys, I'm going to finish my lunch, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.